Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Abyss Fall, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing something called Musician Talk, where we talk to smaller musicians out in my local area. Who here we have today is Caden Edwards. He's based out of Mount Pleasant, Texas. He dropped his latest single, "I'm a Mess." Make sure to go stream that now. And Caden, who are you?
Yeah, I'm Caden. Like you said, I'm from Mount Pleasant, Texas. Starting out a little small musician, but we're gonna work our way, hopefully, to the top. And yeah, you basically said it all.
So, as a smaller musician in your local area, how hard is it to spread your music and how to get more engaging fans?
Uh, Honestly, it's all. It really is kind of about who you know. When you start out from nothing, it's a little different because there's a lot of competition out there. But luckily enough, you have like quite a few other people that do music that are actually based out of Mount Pleasant. My cousin Hayden McBride, for one, he's from here, and there's a few others. And as far as like trying to reach a better audience, it's just you got to be consistent. Like for me, what helps me is I try to write music that's maybe like relatable to other people, something that other people can connect with. And yeah, I would just say consistency is the biggest thing.
That makes sense. I mean, consistency is one of the main keys in the music industry. But I know about a month or two ago, or maybe a little bit longer, that you dropped your single "I'm a Mess." Can you kind of explain what that song was about?
So it's kind of being like so in love with something or someone, however you want to take it, and to the point where it just like drives you crazy. But with this new music I'm putting out, like I said, I'm trying to be relatable to others, and so like obviously heartbreak and things about love is just the most popular thing out there. If anything, everybody loves a good sad song, and so I try to throw a little bit of uh, connectivity with people through a instrumental process that catches the ear. Everybody loves a good screaming of the electric guitars and the huge drum hits and stuff like that. But yeah, it's mostly just about being crazy over something dedicated to where it drives you mad, makes
That's
you a mess.
I like the little reference you did there. That was a really good explanation. I mean, I completely agree. But while I was listening to "I'm a Mess" whenever it came out, I couldn't really decipher what it kind of sounded like. So what are some influences of yours that helped you lean towards the direction of music that you head towards?
Oh man, definitely Cody West. He see, I just found out about him a few years ago, like 3 years ago or something like that. And like he's got that kind of he puts out the music that I have like a taste for. I've always loved rock, and he bounces from thing to thing. So like before, he dropped an album called Green, and it's more of your alternative red dirt kind of country sound. And so I based a lot of my sounds off that. Seether is a good influence. I like a lot of those more alternative people, and also just country in general. And so I try to conjoin the two, just like a lot of other artists out there do. And so far with MMS, it sounds pretty decent. So we're gonna try to stay on that same path and see what happens. But yeah, I'd definitely say Cody West is my all-time inspiration.
Now that you say that, I could definitely hear the Cody West into it. I'm not very fairly acquainted with Cody West, but I've heard a few songs from I believe from you and our mutual friend Zach, and I could definitely hear that now. But since you're trying to get the same influence kind of with your next couple of singles, is talk to us about your next single. What is it going to be like?
It'll definitely be different. So I go to the studio, I believe, in February, March, beginning of next year. I think I've got like a 9-song album. Really, I probably should have done an EP, but I've just been like really into it and like just trying to put out as much stuff as I can. And so I think we're gonna head on out with at least one or two more singles, and then the album probably late next year. And as far as sound goes, it's definitely going to be a lot different. I've got mixtures of different things because like I'm gonna experiment with this next album. So we're gonna have a few different sounds, see what the audience and everybody else listeners think, and I guess we'll go off of obviously I'm gonna keep making music that I think is true and good and whatnot, but I think it's you get a more care for how your fan base what they like, and like I said, and then you just get consistent with it, and hopefully it'll be one of the sounds that I'm extremely familiar with, so that it'll be easier to keep putting that kind of work out.
Yeah, I get that, and I actually didn't know about the 9 album thing. That's actually interesting. Is there like any time next year that you would like it the album to be like released on? Like, would you prefer it during summer, fall, winter, 2024
I'm
sometime?
gonna, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a sucker for cold weather. I love the cold. I love like this time of year right now is like where I feel like I'm at my best. There's not a whole lot of going out, and doing a bunch of stuff. It's a good way to just stay inside, save up your money, and the vibes are there. I come down here and I sit down and I start writing and playing, and it's a different feel. Christmas time, New Year's, stuff like that. It's a really good atmosphere. And so I'm thinking, we'll say March at the latest. I finally get in. I would like to have the next single out by mid next year, and then as long as there's not a whole lot of other people in line for my producer, then we'll see about hopefully getting an album out next year, but like the late end of the year, like November, Decemberish.
I think that's a good time for. I feel like the best music kind of comes out around that time because that's when everyone kind of like is in their like kind of how you said it, like in their best sleeve, and most of like everyone I know agrees that like colder weather is the best time like of the year. So that's kind of cool that you're releasing around that area.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things people are gonna want to do. They want to stay inside, and they're gonna want something to occupy themselves. So why not some good music?
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Well,
Hmm.
so we had a conversation the other day about like how you get your music onto platforms and whatnot. I know that you're recently on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and I believe you said SoundCloud. So how is it like? Is it hard marketing every one of them accounts, or are you able to like? Is it relatively easy? Kind of explain the process of that.
Yeah, so I would definitely go ahead and start off. It's definitely not easy. There's certain things you can do inside your artist profile. So, like for instance, Apple Music, Spotify, they've got apps where you can go either on your computer, phone, whatever, and you create an account. You verify that you are who you are. You get the check mark, whatnot. But some, like my distributor, I use DistroKid. Shout out DistroKid, and they have a paid promotion kind of service thing you can go through, which is through Spotify, whatnot, stuff like that. And it's not, I don't think it's that expensive, maybe 40, $50, something like that. And it'll help put your song, it'll give, your song to curators, and they will put it on their uh, playlist. So, like Spotify, they've got like their uh, hot new artists, kind of, new release playlist and stuff like that. I haven't quite figured out Apple other than, maybe just post about it. But honestly, man, TikTok's taken over. It has the last, since it's been out. And even TikTok and I think Instagram both have little promotion services inside of them. It's not that much money. And yeah, it's just social media, man. Just post consistency. And then there's a few things you can pay for to help boost your content. But yeah, so it's definitely not like crucially hard, but it's not the easiest thing. It takes a little bit to get used to it and to figure out how everything works. And I mean, I've been doing, I've only been playing an instrument for like 2-3 years, and so to come this far, it's definitely crazy. And there's still a lot of things I'm learning, but I would definitely say, some apps have some promotion services that are accessible to anyone. So I think that's probably a big thing.
Well, I know for a lot of beginning musicians, like growing up, like you always see these movies about these poor musicians trying to make it up in the world. Do you feel like it's kind of unfair to all the other musicians out in the world who are trying to like make their mark but can't always pay like that money to like get their music distributed? Do you believe there should be like something that helps them get through that and helps them like promote more, or how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I want to say that I have heard of something like that. Um, like it's kind of just it just depends on what you got going on. So, say you're working with a guy who may be producing your stuff. A lot of the newer ones that come out, man, there's so many good producers that don't even know that they're good. People that don't really that haven't really been doing it that long, that are just playing around with it and ended up making some money off of it. And say you have a new artist, new person that's going to try to produce and mix that music. Um, so I've known a few that have charged very little at first. Like say Co Whistle, he uses a guy named Taylor Kimball, and Taylor wasn't famous really, I don't believe, until once Co Wetzel and some of these other bigger artists come out. But I've heard that what he had charged wasn't so much. But now, he's up there and he's making a lot of crazy things and he's making more money. But as far as your question, I think there is something. I can't think of the name, but if and even if there isn't, yeah, there probably should be something like that, because not everybody, just trying to be a musician's hard. Instruments are expensive, things to help your sound, practice, a lot of tools. It costs money. And it's people underestimate how much it really is, and so. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I think there should be something to help for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. You did make a fair point, just like how I remember watching this movie growing up called August Rush, and it was just about this kid that was just an orphanage and just wanted to play guitar, but he could like never do it because in the church he went to, they didn't believe in music, but like he was like born with the talent to hear it, and then he just didn't have anything to like help him get that music to his like get that dream for it until he like went to a big city trying to look for his parents, and then just along the way he made friends and was able to do a huge orchestra at the end. But just like in real life, it's just not that easy. There's a lot of these talented people and there's like they never get their chance to shine or anything. So
Yeah, competition is definitely that's really what it's all about. You have oh man, probably millions of artists in the world, if not more. And yeah, it's at the end of the day, you just your mindset. Like for me, what helps me is like I want to be the best sounding. What can I do to sound better than this? Be better than that. Whether in the end I am or not, it's you got to have a pretty good mindset, and you want to know that you want to think that it's going to be good. You want to think, and just be confident in your work. And when once it's out, just sit back and just see how it goes. Watch it take off. And so that's what I've been doing here lately. Is I keep checking the analytics and I keep listening to my song, thinking about what I could do better, what I could, what could improve. And so, yeah, and that's just it plays another part of consistency. But yeah, competition is definitely everywhere.
I know listening to like a lot of musicians, others interviewers, they always talk about how the music industry is. How has the music industry been for you? Like, have you met any like positivity? Have you met like more negativity than positivity? What was it like for you as a smaller artist?
Yeah, so not really a whole lot of negativity. No, everybody loves a good song. Um, but yeah, it's definitely different. Because you're never gonna fit in absolutely everybody's taste in music. It'll never be that way. And so it's you kind of just want to do what you want to do, and if people don't like it, oh well. But as far as yeah, I've met a couple people. I've got my mom married in to a family, and so my cousin Hayden McBride, he's another artist, and he's helped me dip my toes in the water and stuff like that. The producer I use, his name's David Asasi out of Pittsburgh, and he's very good at what he does. And so, yeah, I've met a few artists. They're really nice, a lot of humble people. But no, it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been bad at all for the state that I'm in and where I stand. It's been a relatively easy process so far.
Oh, that's cool. What is like so I do have a question about your producer. Does he like at all help like with the sound that you were trying to achieve, or does he like always meet your like always find a way to meet your requirements, or like what is it like working with him as a producer?
Honestly, it's really good. He's been playing. guitar, and then he listens to music all over. He plays in my cousin Hayden's band, and so he knows what people like, what people don't like, and he has an idea of what sounds great. And so, as far as that producing process goes, so I will just be sitting around playing, record a demo of something I like, and I'll send it to him. I was like, hey, what do you think of this? Do you think compared to, like, I tell him what I kind of want it to sound like, the inspirations behind it, and then he goes from there, and he just doesn't disappoint. He's really good at what he does. But yeah, I can have a say in a lot of it, but honestly, when you're signed to a label, they kind of take control, but I don't have to worry about anything. He does really good at what he does.
And on your song "I'm a Mess," there's all kinds of different instrumentals into it. Like, did you record all that by yourself, or did you have like some paid musicians help you do all that, or like how did that recording process go?
I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I ever did in that song was just the three little strums in the intro. David has done every bit of it. Um, as far as guitar, he's done all of that, all the drums, everything. So when you start mixing on a project, everything is automated. And when you can get an audio interface, and you can put in your own, plug in your own instruments, bass, whatever you want. But a lot of it is digital, and so I gave him the idea of what I kind of wanted in a chorus, this and that, and then he basically pieces the puzzle together.
Wow, he sounds like a very talented musician, because like some of the stuff that's in that song, I know I tried to learn like a majority of it once because I was trying to learn how to play the song, and that a lot of this like lead stuff in there is not easy. Like I was just like sitting there screwing with my guitar because I know guitar scales and everything. I was just sitting there trying to piece it together. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely a lot, which is good though, because it can create a really good harmony and melody in the backgrounds of everything. Like towards the end, you got the high note where I say I'm the mess and whatnot, and like just everything comes crashing in, and it's a really good sound. It gives a lot of background and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's definitely a difficult song to learn for sure, and it was hard to come up with an idea for it. But yeah, I remember I had just finished the idea of that song on my 18th birthday, which was last year, and last July, and so just about a year later, almost, it's finally here, and so it's crazy.
So, since you said like, I don't mean to be barging in on you, just random ask this of you randomly, but do you have your guitar on you?
Yes, I do.
Would you be so kind to do a little like preview of the song for the viewers?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, on the spot, but yes, let me look. Uh,
I know it's kind of on the spot. I was just like, should I ask this? Maybe I shouldn't ask this.
oh, you're good. Let's see here. Let me find something.
Because personally, the song, I do enjoy it. I listen to it quite frequently. I usually do it more on YouTube because I'm on YouTube more than I am on every other app. And like I gotta say, it's out of like a lot of music I've listened to lately, it's one of my favorite songs. I mean, like I enjoy it, just the vibe.
Oh yeah. So just any song that may come out in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. This one is called "Most of All," and I think this will either be the next single or the third.
Ladies and gentlemen, Caden Edwards.
Bags are packed by the door. Please don't tell me there's any more. What can I say you do just to keep you from getting in that car right away? Darling, what can I say? And I'm sorry. I should have held you back if it wasn't enough. And I didn't answer the phone when you called. That I'll catch you every time. Oh, oh. And erase things that hurt most of all. There you go. There's your little snippet of that one.
Goosebumps, man.
That's a
That
treat.
sounded awesome.
Definitely, probably my favorite one I've written so far.
I gotta say, I love I'm a Mess. That one's got me hooked more. I could feel the energy of that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I'm a Mess is good, but I think what we've got coming is going to be a lot better.
You know what's even funny about the situation is, I didn't really ask you to play a new song. I was asking you to play I'm a Mess, but then I'm glad.
Oh crap!
I'm glad you must have understood that because now we got like a cool little snip. Because I was gonna ask you anyway, towards the like end of this, so it kind of worked out well. But like I gotta say, that was really good.
Shit, man, that flew right over my head. But yeah, there you go. That's
So
funny.
so now I do have to ask: would you be against playing I'm a Mess?
Man, I will, but I don't know if I can hit that high note at the end. You just want the whole thing, or what are we thinking?
Just as much as you're comfortable with, and you don't have to hit the high note. Don't worry.
Okay, we'll go for it. We'll give it a try. I'm a mess, so damn bad, no one else can clean up. Yeah, I'm a wreck, so close to getting somewhere, yet so far. Let me get away from this place and find somewhere more, but I can't get you out. Another town, another place. Strange pass by and I see your face. Phased by it's over me. I wonder why you want my brain. Stick around, I'm going insane. Raising me, I am this way. Different time, but the same place. Yeah, I'm a mess. I'm amazed by the way your grip holds my soul. I keep in touch with the reality, no one else comes close to you, no, since you slammed that door. Another time in another place, strange past by to see your face, phased by you told me. I wonder why. Reason why I am this way. Different time, but the same way. Yeah, I'm missed. you go.
Gotta say, I love the acoustic vibe more than the electric. Gotta say, it's
Oh,
kind of nerve wracking. Even though it was like, it was a little glitched out because my internet's not the greatest, to be quite honest. But the pieces that like did most of it did come through. Just the pieces I heard and like the melody and how you can harmonize with like your guitar and everything, really good.
hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think at some point we'll probably do the album that I will put out. I'll probably try to do a little acoustic EP that takes bits and pieces out of it for sure.
So with majority of your songs, you say that you start them on acoustic, right? Like you just grab your acoustic and what you're feeling, or if you want to get something off your chest, that's when you just like, that's how you record by, or do you just like sometimes just hear like a song in your head and kind of like write it down your notes app?
Well, it's a little bit of both, really. Yeah, a lot of times I'll be in the mood to just try to come up with something. It really just starts off with an instrumental first, and then you try to come up with the lyrics that'll fit, and then usually the name of the song comes last. And so, yeah, with I'm a Mess, I was pretty dedicated. I played one bit of it, and I was like, oh, I like this, and so I stayed consistent and worked on it a lot. And then a year later, it became a thing. But yeah, the process it's crazy, but it's cool at the same time. Watching something that you created, just watching it come to life, and that's probably the best part.
Got us the good representation of that. Good answer. Um, so, what kind of made you want to start? I know this is kind of like throwing off the schedule. That's because I just want to ask this question first. Where did you kind of get your like desire to do music? Was it like when one day you woke up, you went, "I want to learn guitar," and right when you learn guitar, you're like, "I want to be a musician," or is it like something you've always wanted to be?
I've always been all over the place with certain things that I like. I started out, I like playing games, and I like just having a good time. And a guitar was just something that I like. I was like, man, I kind of want to just figure out how that works. I think it's kind of cool because I love music. Who doesn't? And so I started progressing a lot faster than I think the most the average person was. And so I was like, man, this has to be the gift because after only 2 years, here I am already got music out on platforms and stuff like that. And so yeah, it just happened one day and I didn't stop.
Okay, so that answered my question a little bit better before I ask these kind of other ones. Um, I guess kind of I don't know, but so before you dropped I'm a Mess, I know you kind of like had some other demos on the way, but you never fully released them. Do you ever regret not dropping any of them?
Ooh, no, I don't. I really don't. Only because I'm not vocally. I'm still not quite there yet. But I'm at the point now where it's good enough to be able to make music and stuff like that. I think my the app I use, I probably have over 50 songs recorded, but like 40 of them suck. And so, um, but the newer stuff now, I'm thankful that I was able to rewrite what I had because some of these newer songs are going to be really good. So
So,
yeah.
so considering you have all them songs in like your voice message holder thing, and sorry, I kind of forgot what you called it, and with I'm a Mess, how do you know that was the one to use instead of the other ones? Did it just have like when you're writing, you're like, oh, this has something special to it, I know it, or was this one of the ones you're like, I'll pick one out of these three and just go for it?
Honestly, I probably did something you shouldn't do when it comes to creating music. So I've made some songs before and wasn't really happy with them, and so I made I'm a Mess. And I sent it over to my producer and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And he said, "Honestly, lyrically, if you could create more songs in an atmosphere like this one, I think we'll be good to go." And so that was an eye opener for me to slow down and just be and take my time when it comes to writing things because before I may say something that don't really even make sense. And so um, I wrote I'm a Mess and it worked. We rushed on it to get it out, and then after that, even now that it's out, I'm still piecing together the last bit of the future album that'll be coming. And so yeah, I rushed it a little bit, but I think it'll be okay.
Do you feel like the rush kind of helped you in a way, like, or is that like kind of something you're still doing, and like you still like you said before, you kind of realize you need to take a slow down, but does that fastness ever just come back in and try and like make you rush a song?
Honestly, man, I think the rush is helping because I'm getting, I've got the adrenaline going. Like, man, I'm starting to get better. I'm starting to be able to do this and that, and learning new things that are going to be very helpful. And so, as far as like stress wise, nah, it hasn't been really that bad. But yeah, I will say the rush definitely helped because now I know what I've improved on and what works and what doesn't. And so, hopefully, it's all uphill from here.
Good answer, good answer. So this is a random question that kind of just pops in my head, and I was like, I'd be kind of cool to hear what his opinion is about this. So if you can talk to any musician or meet with any musician, like alive or dead, which two would you pick?
The two I would pick for sure, probably Cody West, and you got me on this next one. Let's say I would for sure say Cody West, and then probably I don't know, maybe Reed Southall. They both have a distinct sound, and yeah, they're just their music isn't completely different, but it's different, and I like both aspects of it, and trying to conjoin them both into my own kind of genre. It's definitely a cool thing, and so yeah, I'd probably say Cody West and Reed Southall for sure.
Honestly, did not expect that answer. I kind of expected randomly for you to mention like I don't know, George Strait or something, which I know would not be like the answer. But I was kind of like, it's kind of the stereotypical answer. Maybe he'll say that.
I love old country. Don't get me wrong, but I'm starting to get more interested in the rock aspect, and so I think those two are a good answer for that.
So with the rock aspect, just like you said, I know that I'm a Mess has a little southern rock feel to it. Do you ever like in the future see you just doing rock music?
Uh, Maybe it just see. I don't know if you'd really consider full on rock what I'm going for, and so, but that's just what I have it labeled as, and so I know a lot of my songs. I find it easier to create music that sounds kind of like the I'm a Mess aspect of it, and so yeah, maybe in the future, maybe one day I might can figure something out over there. But I think for now it'll be more like the red dirt kind of country-ish sound.
In my personal opinion, I've always found the red dirt to be like my favorite type because I used to live in Lubbock, Texas, and like down there they had this station just completely dedicated to red dirt music, and that's where I kind of grew my like. Until recently, I kind of lost it, but as a younger kid, my love for like country music and like has that like southern tint to it. Because like I wouldn't completely label your genre as rock because like of course you have like the big drums and electric guitar. You're more like kind of southern rock, kind of like a. It's kind of hard to like kind of put you like in a label because like you really are kind of your own label, like along with other musicians that are kind of similar to you. So it's kind of, but like your style of music, I definitely enjoy. Like, I wouldn't label it completely as rock, but I wouldn't label it completely as country. It's like a good like mixture.
Yeah, it's like a happy medium, and that's kind of what I was going for too. Because you want to, for me, in being in the musician world, you don't want to be too much of a copycat, and you want to kind of have your own sound. Kind of like I don't know if you ever heard of Pecos and the Rooftops, but his voice is so different from everybody else out there that it makes him stand out in his own way. And so I try to create a sound that sounds like it's coming from me, and not straight from somebody else.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta take this short interlude very quick. Someone is calling me, and apparently it's fairly urgent. I'm really sorry, Caden.
No, you're good.
You know what? Just for content's sake, because it's fucking Caleb. I want to know what the fuck this motherfucker has to say. This is a music podcast. Do not say anything really messed up. What do you want?
Don't say anything really messed up. Good thing I have Zach here for me for that.
Oh no.
Zach, I need you to say the most messed up thing you can possibly think.
I'll hang up this call.
Foodies was a good movie. Anyways, how late do you plan on staying up tonight? Oh, he likes minors, by the way. Anyways, how late do you plan on staying up? I need to know. It's very important.
Probably 11, 12.
Fuck.
How late are y'all staying up?
Well, we want to know if you want to play Warzone because we need a fourth.
Yes, I'll play Warzone with you guys. Was that so goddamn important? It interrupts my podcast with a very famous musician.
Absolutely.
You're disrespecting the Caden Edwards.
Tell Caden I said I love you. By the way.
Yeah, I love you too, bro.
He says he loves you too.
Thank you, and also tell him that he should start a party later because I haven't talked to him in forever.
Okay, he heard you. Okay, I'm gonna go and finish my podcast.
I love music. That's the only thing I have to add. Goodbye.
I hate this guy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that interruption. God, he said it was important, so I figured it was important. Oh, I hate this
It's
guy.
never important.
Not really. Okay, so I know how like I've seen a couple of the stuff you post on your social media pages. How you're kind of like only playing guitar, like acoustic guitar. Do you like playing any other instruments, or do you strictly acoustic?
Not really, just acoustic. You know, I try to do electric. Right now, I'm trying to look for some better pickups to put in it. But you know, as far as you know how band wise is going to go in the future, it'll definitely be strictly acoustic. But I like to play around with other things, especially drums too. I'll beat on some drums every now and then.
Yeah, I remember whenever me and your other band, like a friend slash, I don't know what to literally label them as, but like whenever we all hanged out that one time and we all kind of transitioned instruments, and I thought that was really cool. So that's where I kind of figured the question is because like I saw you going on drums for a little bit. I was like, okay, this guy knows how to keep a beat.
But yeah, it's not my strong suit for sure, but it's definitely cool to be able to learn other things for sure. Then it's just fun.
So in the future, would you want to like be able to record all your own instrumentals? Like you record your own guitar, have like a drummer record his own stuff, and then you be able to like produce it?
See, I've thought about it, but honestly, probably not. Only because you know David does such a good job, and I use him to let me. And you know, I feel like music it wouldn't have you know like that fresh kind of sound. You know, you already know what you're getting into. You already know what it is. When as far as you've got a label working on it, it's like a surprise. And usually the surprise from David is it's a surprise, of course. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely try to do it maybe for fun, but I wouldn't take it seriously as far as to you know my own music wise.
Yeah, I just know there's like a few musicians like they'd let their like the thing I can kind of see you doing since you just said that is like let's take for example Post Malone. He's like a famous like musician and like he releases music that his label wants him to release, but he also releases stuff that he like personally can release himself.
Right.
So like
No, it's definitely a cool thing to get to learn those. You know, get to learn that path and be able to play around with certain things as maybe a hobby. It's definitely something that you know I'd recommend getting into. It's very fun.
so would you ever like consider that like if whenever you get a label like would you be for like your label releasing music but then you also kind of like they'd be releasing your music and you'd both be the same person, but would you ever like feel like just releasing your own stuff every now and then, like just like you simply have like a rough scratch of it? Because I know there's a few bands out there that kind of just release their like rough scratches of their songs.
Honestly, I've thought about it, especially a lot here lately, because you know I've only put out one thing and not much other. You know the process that it goes into it takes a good minute. You know, it could be a whole year before you could even start working on something new each time. Kind of just depends on if you have a busy label or not. But I would definitely use probably SoundCloud, probably to put out something like that. Because I've got some private playlists on SoundCloud, and if you want, I can invite you to them. Where I just put ideas down, and you know, the very few people that are in there can get a say so on what they think.
And what I think is cool about what you just said there is like how you get like a lot of say so. Like you get a lot of say so, but you don't like use it obviously because you enjoy Mr. Usasi as like your music producer. But it's kind of a shame. Like there's a lot of artists like that were small at one point, but when they got big, producing studios started telling them what to make and what to like make their music into. So it's kind of cool that you still get like a say of what like you want your music to sound like.
Right. Well, for like it's hard to explain, but you know, I do get a lot of say so, especially with this first song. You know, I was able to ask if we could put this and that and that and that. But so it's not necessarily like a full surprise, but I say surprise because you're not working on it every day, and so you get that fresh feel like, okay, well, I hear this that I liked, I hear that, I hear this sounds really good. You know, let's get on with it. And so like with David, you know, it's just different for me because he knows exactly what I want. He knows, you know, what I think, and so I could just send him a track, and it's like some kind of telepathic thing. Like he just immediately knows what to do.
He sounds like a good producer, not gonna lie. Not many producers have that capability to just like not even like see the person in the face and just receive the track and just immediately go like, this is what he wants and I'll make sure that happens.
Right, right. Yeah, I hope he furthers it and makes, you know, hopefully a career and a profession out of it, because, you know, he's really good at what he does. And, you know, for his popularity is like, you know, as far as his band wise with, you know, the Hayden McBride band, you know, he's in there, but as far as people knowing that he produces his own music, you know, not quite. And so I hope that kicks off for him. That'd be nice.
I hope so too. He sounds like a pretty decent like music producer, as I said. Um, God damn it! What was my fucking question? Um, if you could just take a second, kind of explain like what you're kind of wanting to bring into like your next song. Like, what is something different about like your older song that you want to bring differently into this song? Like, what's the different? What's the like? What's the like energy this one going to give? Is it going to be more like happier? Is it going to even be like sad as that one, or is it going to be kind of upbeat? Is it going to be kind of downbeat? Like, how can you kind of explain the next song's going to be?
Yeah, well, with I'm a Mess, it's, you know, it's kind of like you're at your co-Wetzel song. You know, a lot of the lyrics, you know, they're sad. They're not, you know, exactly, you know, a happy song, but with the instrumental choices we put in there, you know, it's more of an upbeat kind of thing, and, you know, the instrumental goes a long way. And so, like with this next one, I'm still not too sure which one I want to put out next for a single wise, but I know just about the whole album is mostly heartbreak and confusion, and so, but they're gonna have some upbeat sounds, so it'll be like I'm a Mess 2.0, and yeah, and because like it's gonna somewhat tell a story, so, you know, I'm a Mess has became a nice little motto for what I've got going on. And so, like, I'm pretty sure the album name will be like, you know, I'm a Mess, the album, yeah, because a lot of the songs explain a similar story, and so I just think it's best fitting. But yeah, I definitely think the new music, you know, everyone's gonna hear soon is gonna be a fresh new kind of Caden, you know, and so that's kind of where I'm hoping to be able to go with it.
So, since you mentioned this album's a lot about breakup and heartbreak, I do have to ask: have you gone through any breakup or heartbreak, Mr. Edwards?
A little in the past, but you know, it's behind us now. It's all uphill from here. Like I said, I try to write a lot that maybe might be relatable to other people, and so you know, you could take, for instance, my song have some truth in them, but it's mostly truth for other people, something to help cope, I would say.
So, Mr. Edwards, are you in fact seeing someone?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
would you be against of dropping a love song anytime soon?
Uh, I've written one, but you know what? I'll leave you with a solid maybe. I've thought about it. We'll leave it with a solid maybe.
Ooh, peer pressure him, guys. Make him drop the love song. But I kind of like how you kind of know, like, there's a lot of people that go by an algorithm, and it's kind of cool that you're kind of going by that as well. It's just you knowing what's trending and what will get, like, something you enjoy writing, but also other people go, like, oh, that's relatable. That's dope as fuck. Like, I relate to this, so I want to listen to it more. So it's kind of cool you have that knowledge upon, like, knowing, like, what to post and what, like, the public likes and what social media likes. So that's, like, it's cool that you have a good head on your shoulders about that.
Yeah, like I said, you know, this newer industry of music is taken off. You know, I'm pretty sure it did start a little bit with Co and stuff like that, but yeah, some of these newer influences, they've really got it going. They know what your ears want, and so it's nice to be able to look at that and be like, okay, well, this is doing good. Let me see if I can create something like that, but kind of give it my own unique sound, and that's kind of where I'm going with it at the moment.
So, did you feel the genre that you're kind of like in right now, like within y'all's band of musicians, like Co Wetzel, Hayden McBride, and all these other musicians? Do you feel like y'all's music is becoming more trendy in the later age?
Uh, I'd hope so, especially with with me and Hayden. I would really hope things take off. But I really think this is the sound that people are really wanting at the moment. It's kind of like I would say kind of picture it like a season. In another season of music, and you have even newer artists years from now. There will be, I'm sure, another good sound that people are going to want to hear. But rock lives forever, and so that's where I like to go with it.
So, now that you said that, does that mean during March time or April time we'll get like a nice soft pop album about dandelions and daisies?
Oh man, you know what? Sure, why not? No, um, no, I probably not. He got me stuck on that one. I can't think about it now. Something about dandelions, probably.
So, what we're saying is, if you did suddenly go pop, we'll know not to kill you. Know that you're not a clone copy from the Illuminati.
I could be.
Ah, well, you hear it here, folks. If he goes pop, just know that he's a clone.
Yeah.
Next, he's gonna make the next "Happy" by Pharrell Williams.
Imagine that would be cancer.
Just you in a white suit snapping, "'Cause I'm Caden Capital."
I will say it'll definitely be a wild ride in the future.
That's really cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all the time we kind of have here for tonight. But make sure to go to Hayden's social medias. Make sure to go shout him out. Make sure to go check his latest single, "I'm a Mess." Definitely recommend it. Fantastic song. He's also on Instagram at Caden Edwards Music. He's on TikTok under Caden Edwards Music, I believe, as well. He's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. And Caden, is there anything you want to tell to the fans?
Yeah, just I'm gonna keep putting out music for y'all, and just we'll see where it goes. Appreciate you for tuning in and listening.
Thank you all for listening. I'm Evis Fallen here with Caden Edwards, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Good night.